wellness,
self-care,
mental health,
stress management.
These are all rights, but when turned into action, have the capacity to promote staff wellness and resiliency for effective response to sexual and gender-based violence. My name is Chinyere Eyo, and I'm the Executive Director of Sexual Offences Awareness and Response Initiative. Thankfully, we are grantees on the collective action to reduce gender-based violence, funded by USAID and implemented by Making Sense International. On this project, we are partnering with the FCT Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Response Team, as well as NIM Foundation, who are experts, regarding mental health and provision of psychosocial support services for survivors of trauma. The project is designed or has been designed to address the gaps that responders to sexual and gender-based violence in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria face in addressing issues related to survivors of gender-based violence. In response to these issues that we identified, we put up a proposal that has basically two major objectives. The first objective is, of course, to strengthen the capacity of GBV responders, and we did that through provision of a training workshop on the project that helped address strengthening and increasing ability to provide trauma counseling for survivors, particularly of children. Secondly, we also supported the sexual and gender-based violence, the FCT Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Response Team, and we met the domestic and sexual violence response team in Lagos, which, because of the ability to respond to cases, and how well they've been doing, have now been upgraded to an agency. So we undertook a learning visit to try to understand, how the response team is structured and how we can also strengthen the response team also here in Abuja. The second objective focus on promoting self-care and wellness of these responders.
Before the project started, I would say that most of the responders were suffering from vicarious trauma. We handle cases of different forms on a daily basis. After handling these cases, listening to a lot of stories from the survivors, most of the responders, even me, when you get back home, you see that you have a flashback. You keep getting flash of stories. Before the project, we never had time for ourselves. But after the project, we have learned that we have to structure our time to make sure we take care of ourselves. That self-care is what we need. The project made us to know that whatever we are doing, that we should strike out our own work-life balance so that we'll be able to work effectively.
So before the CARE-GBV project commenced, personally I was dealing with vicarious stress internally. So what I do most times is I take a stroll. I'm not able to express myself or talk about some of those stresses, and it was actually affecting me in a way because at some point my work was being affected.
So before the project, I was very, stressed, because the work we do is very voluminous, and sometimes you forget about yourself, and all you're just focused on is to make sure that you meet your milestones and achieve whatever targets you're given.
So as a social worker and also a business owner and a mother, it has been very stressful. Before the project, it was very stressful to be able to handle these three aspects of my life and be very effective.
I would say this project is very timely. I personally was finding it difficult to balance my work and my personal life. It was at the point one was affecting each other.
According to compassion fatigue expert Francois Mathieu, Between 40% and 85% of helping professionals develop vicarious trauma, compassion fatigue, and or high rates of traumatic symptoms, with 70% being social workers and 70% exhibiting at least one symptom of secondary traumatic stress. Funded by USAID, SOAR, in partnership with NIM Foundation, has equipped 29 social workers to better understand self-care needs and practices needed to reduce the stress, burnout, and vicarious trauma, and also improve general well-being.
So one of the tasks that we're given to do is to be able to develop manuals and also to train this organization responding to gender-based violence. The first thing we did was to provide mental health and psychosocial support, capacity building training for organization responding to gender-based violence, and it was a 5-day training. We did quite a number of topics like gender-based violence, humanitarian principles, do no harm principles, emotional intelligence, and afterward we also engaged this organization in wellness and self-care services, and that was done monthly, and it has been exciting. Apart from providing these services, that's the workshop and the capacity building, we're also actively involved in developing manuals, that's the training manuals, and also the wellness and self-care manuals. One major thing that this manual is going to achieve is that it's going to help this organization that be involved in the training and the wellness workshop to be able to respond to people who are involved in gender-based violence. And apart from that, it will also help them to be able to understand the need of taking care of themselves, which will also reduce what we call secondary trauma. Secondary trauma is a kind of trauma that indirectly affects the people who provide services to those, direct services to those who have been involved in any form of traumatic event.
Funny enough, I've always known that there are aspects of my life that were suffering, but I didn't have like the solution to it. I just felt, well, this is life, I have to just pull through everything. But from this project, from the day we did Your Wheel of Life, I was able to see clearly the parts that really has suffered, and I was taught to be intentional about everything I do. So I consciously make out time for every single thing now. So, well, I can say for a fact that I've gained exposure to productivity hack, I can say, because I've been able to really understand that health is wealth at the end of the day.
Okay, here at SOAR, because of the CARE-GBV project, there are lots of changes, especially when it has to do with the welfare of staff. So recently we came up with a policy that will help us to deal with vicarious stress in the workplace. It's still in progress though, but these are things that are going to be implemented.
I have learned to make sure that I carry out all my work tasks during the work hours. And then when it's time to log off over the weekend, I make sure that I spend that time with the family, so it's balanced.
I also want to commend my organization, the Disability Rights Advocacy Center. As a result of this project and the workshop that I've attended, so many things have changed. We have new developments coming up.
Some of the stories that you hear every day often re-traumatizes you yourself, who is supposed to be providing the care. And those members of the response team oftentimes do not know how to handle some of these emotions that come with a job that they do. One of the things that this project is also going to do is to see that the structure of the FCT response team is strengthened in terms of ensuring that everyone understands the operationalization of the team, and that's why we are going to go into the strategic plan session, where we are going to develop a strategic plan for the team, where we bring together members of the sexual and gender-based violence response team of the FCT, and we all stick together to look at how to ensure that the team continues to provide those services that we need, how we can ensure that members of the team work together effectively, how we can ensure that the partnership between both civil society organizations and government continues to produce and yield the results that it needs for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence in the FCT.
now, and staff will be happy about this. So now we have our monthly timeouts where once in a month staff, just have time. We just have fun time together aside from work. Every quarter, each staff is entitled to a staff time off, where they can take one day off, in a quarter, just to help their wellness and their mental health. I must also say that staff have also reported that that workplaces are neater. Yes, because we also learned that the environment in which we are contributes to the state of health that we have. Yeah, so I would say these are some of the things that have changed and are changing. I must also thankfully appreciate CARE-GBV and the Making Sense International staff. Because of this project, we've been able to engage a professional child and adolescent mental health practitioner, therapist, and so the services that we provide have greatly improved following from feedback we are getting from our clients. We've also introduced play therapy, which was something that we learned during the capacity building training that we had, that was provided by NIM Foundation. So yeah, these are some of the things that have changed and have continued to evolve with us on the project.
Engaging,
Enlightening,
fantastic,
amazing,
great, educative.